Hello everyone, I'm Rabbi Chaitovsky with another video Dvar for this week, Parshat Tavo, the week in which we will usher in the High Holy Day liturgical season with the recitation of Slichot this coming Saturday evening. And everyone, of course, is welcome to join us here for a movie presentation, The Power of Forgiveness, followed by Slichot with Cantor Lichterman and myself in our chapel. This is an interesting time period. Everyone is talking, of course, about the month of Elul as the Preseason, as I called it, leading up to the High Holy Days. Halacha and Jewish tradition certainly looks at this time as one of introspection and preparation for the High Holy Days. And the question is, where did Elul get that? Is it simply because it's the month before Rosh Hashanah? It's not quite as simple as that. Actually, the way we observe Rosh Hashanah today as the Yom Hadin, the Day of Judgment, and all the ensuing activities that point us in the direction of looking at our deeds and committing to do better in the coming year, none of that is in the Torah. This is a construct, this is something that's developed over time, but there is a very good reason. And in the Psikta Rabbi Eliezer, there's a famous rabbi, Rabbi Yehoshua ben Karcha, who talks about how on the beginning of Elul, Rosh Chodesh Elul, was when Moses was called back up to Mount Sinai to plead for forgiveness for the Jewish people after they had sinned with the golden calf. Moses was called back up to the mountain to receive the second set of 10 commandments, the second set of the Luchot. Remember, he had come down off the mountain and he witnessed the Israelites dancing around the golden calf, and seeing this as tantamount to idolatry and an absolute apostasy and a move away from what God had said on the mountain, have no other gods before me, Moses he broke the original set of Luchot. And now, on the Rosh Chodesh Elul, which was about 3 weeks ago, on Rosh Chodesh Elul, God calls him back up to the mountain after Moses had interceded on behalf of the Israelites, achieved a measure of forgiveness for them, and now God is going to give Moshe the second set of Luchot. And it's just very interesting that there's a difference between the first set of Luchot and the second. I know you've all seen the movie, right? The Ten Commandments, where Cecil B. DeMille makes it very clear that the first set of Luchot were miraculous. These tablets appeared out of nowhere, and a swirling finger of fire seems to inscribe the immortal words of the Ten Commandments on those stones. Well, those were the ones that Moses broke. Where did Moshe get the second set of Luchot, the second set of stones? It says, Pisol lecha. God tells Moshe, you have to carve them for yourself. Quarry them for yourself. Bring something of yourself to the mountain, and it is on those Luchot that I will inscribe the words of the Ten Commandments for the second time. God perhaps recognized that the Jewish people needed to invest something of themselves into this second iteration of the Ten Commandments in order to make it stick. If the Jewish people invested of themselves, they would have more of a stake in what happened, and they would feel the need and they'd feel the responsibility to carry out the tasks that God was asking them to do. And this idea of investing ourselves in this process of achieving the second set of Luchot is actually part and parcel of the month of Elul. It took place originally during the month of Elul. And now as we are going through this Elul process leading up to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we also are being asked to invest something of ourselves in this process. We can't just say things, or we can't just magically wake up on Rosh Hashanah morning and expect that everything is going to be okay. We have to bring something of ourselves. We have to look deep within ourselves and offer something of ourselves. And this week's Torah portion makes that point so eloquently at the very beginning. When we are told, V'haya ki tavo el haaretz asher Hashem Elokecha notein lecha, when you come to the land that God has promised to give you as an inheritance, and you've conquered that land and have settled that land, V'lakachta mereshit kol pri ha'adama asher tevi me'artzecha asher Hashem Elokecha notein lach. You're supposed to take from the first fruits that grow out of that holy ground that God had promised you. V'samta batenet, and put it in a basket. V'halacht el hamakom asher yivchar Hashem Elokecha l'shakein shemo sham, and bring it to that place that God has designated as a special place. And then bring it to the Kohen. And then you're supposed to recite words that have become enshrined in the Pesach Haggadah. Arami Oved Avi, that many years earlier my ancestors were wandering Arameans, and it goes through the trials and tribulations that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and the Jewish people experienced in and out of the land of Egypt. And now we've arrived at the promised land, and look at the bounty that God has given us. And I recognize that. Why does the Torah have to tell us that you're going to take those first fruits and put them in a basket and make a journey to that special place, the Beit HaMikdash or the Mishkan? That's because we're asked to bring something of ourselves. We planted those seeds. We tended those trees and those crops, and we harvested them. But now we want to offer our thanks to God for the Bikurim. And God says, you can't do that in your home. You don't just open up a prayer book or read a nice story or even hear a good sermon. You need to put it in a basket. You need to make that trek. You need to make that journey. You need to schlep that stuff with you and bring it to the Kohen and make the declaration. That journey is where you invest in yourself, and you take part of yourself and invest it in something larger. And that's what Elul is about. And Elul is coming to a close. And that's what Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are about. And hopefully by the end of that process, we will all be blessed with a Shana Tova U'Metzukah, a good, a sweet, and a healthy year filled with only good things. Have a Shabbat Shalom, and we'll see you in Shul.